Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on May 16th, 2022 at approximately 12:57 p.m. PST. Keep running into interesting complications, but let's get our brain started, shall we? Now, to start with, do understand, I came back to this world for one reason and one primary purpose. This lifetime at this point in time. And that is to pass on a very simple message. Working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, with that in mind, the first two things, I've mentioned this on a number of videos in the past. Just need to grab something there. Today, we are literally looking at the operation of the individual house. Simply put, because this is an even day, I'm working on the house. That being that physical structure in which you live. Now, the tools I offer here are the same tools I personally use. They are the same philosophies in life that I personally live by. Now, this does not mean I'm perfect by any functional stretch. But in case you're just joining me for the first time, just very quickly and go back through the other videos, I've been doing this since March 6th of 2021. And it took me a long time to get a bearing in place. But this is your first step to reclaiming power over your own life. This sign, I am worth it. This sign was built, I've hand-burned it myself, on just a standard piece of wood using a magnifying lens and the sun itself. But these four words are the four most powerful words that I've come across this lifetime. Where it comes to rebuilding self-esteem, self-worth, self-motivation, these four do it in any language I've come across. Now that is the first tool. Now I've got this sign obviously readily available in my office, which is the brain of the house. By the way, conveniently speaking, it's also the brain of the home. But we will deal with the home tomorrow. Now that's the first step. The second step is this one. This sign here. Now remember, we're talking about a household. So we have legally acquired a minimum of $3,800 by May 31st, 2022 at 23:59. That is 1 minute into midnight military time. Now the 3,800, in all fairness, that is our target zone for this house. For you, started off with what you require to run your house. Rent or mortgage, whichever. Utilities, one credit card. Doesn't matter how many credit cards you have. We will get to those in a little bit. Now do understand, I am not a financial advisor, as in I've never been trained legally. This is simply stuff I've discovered the hard way. My hope is that by showing you this, you can actually gain the upper hand on your own world with a lot less struggle. Now, this one down below is because I run my own home and my own business out of my own home. And much like me, much like R. Keith Andrews, or actually in legal terms, Ronald Keith Andrews, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me all over the place on the internet. But my company name is Inner Voice Enterprises. So what I've got here is Inner Voice Enterprises has legally generated a minimum of $700 by May 31st, 2022. Now remember, this 700 is included in this 38. Now this applies to your business as well, but change this number to what you require. Now if you look below the video, below any video that I've done, or virtually anyone, you can find a list of contact numbers, contact points, usually via the internet. You may find my phone number somewhere, but I will warn you. If you phone my phone number and you haven't texted or contacted me ahead of time, telling me who you are, the odds are I won't answer it. Okay, simply because I don't answer unknown phone numbers. Doesn't matter who they come from. This does cause some problems, absolutely. Okay, but you will also find a list under these videos of the various books that I've already got in print. Now, two of them from the Yldrbac Chronicles are in print and available on authorhouse.com, Amazon, Indigo, Chapters, and probably a few other places, not least of which would be Barnes & Noble. Okay. Now, I know people have bought them from Canada, the US, and England. Okay. So, they are available. The rest of the books on the list, okay, and any future ones as they come up, will be available directly from me, directly through me here. Okay, and you'll see this shelf over here has a lot of different books on it. Those are the ones I've already got in stock. Okay, now the catch to all of this is when you get an idea in your own life of what you desire to accomplish, this can be done, and this is where this neat little trick comes in. This is the third key to reclaiming power over your own life. This sheet here, you'll notice there's only two things here. It's because, well, I'm getting a late start to the day for a lot of reasons. But on this list right now, okay, and the trick with the list is pick 3 things that you personally desire to, and that you personally know has to get straightened out. Okay, and we'll get to that in 5 seconds. Keep each of those tasks to 15 minutes to a half an hour in length. By doing this, when you get one cleared off, you check it off and add a third one to the list. Now, for me, what ends up happening, because I'll be on the computer right now on this video for the next 20 minutes ish. Okay, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to deal with the other issue. Take a look where you're sitting right here, right now. This is the one thing that everyone in existence has in common, no matter what you went through to get to where you are. Okay, no matter what differences there are between you. Everybody has this in common. And because of that, I've looked at these tools, and this is where this one comes. Yeah, nope, not that one. This one here. Okay. This book here, that's Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. I just had a whole bunch more printed out and immediately ended up selling a few of them, which is great. Okay. I keep these tools short and to the point. Okay, but then this one, Believe in Yourself, is literally the backbone of how to make things work. Okay, now as soon as I get done the journey, I'm literally making a note for myself because I've got utility files that I have to get sorted around. Okay, so as soon as I get done the journey, I've got my current utility bills from the beginning of this month, from the beginning of this year, that I simply have to go through and go, okay, are they in order? Do I have all of the ones I require? This is the third task on my list. Okay, now I've got I have technological problems all the time. This is why I didn't go live on Saturday. But I was really happy with the fact that we managed to get that all worked out. What had happened on Saturday, and bear in mind, if you're running a business in today's world, okay, then you run into all sorts of neat little complications. Technology is a good thing. It's just a pain in the neck for me. Okay, but even with that in mind, I've got my printer here, and of course I've got that all-important thing right here. Called my coffee. Now, I've got those going on. I've got my phone sitting right here, and I've got just enough room on my desk, quite frankly, to put my list so that I can add to it as I go along. And then I've got my 4 computer monitors. Not bad for somebody that has a problem with technology. Okay, but you get the list running. Now, here's the neat little part about it. Once you figure out what you're aiming at, once you've got things set up, it's very easy. You take a look around, very easy once you get the idea. Take a look at what's around you. Okay, just what you're not content with. Okay, couple of things, for instance, and you can't see that, but we'll move that out of the way. Oh, don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to do that. Gonna put that over there for a second. Now, once I am done getting those utility bills sorted out, okay, then I am taking my hard copy to soft copy. Okay, and what I mean by that is the next thing I do after I get this posted and get the utility bills dealt with, then I will be taking, where did my book go? This one. This one here. This is where I write the hard copy for Return to Paradise, the final book in the trilogy I'm currently working on. But the Yldrbacian Chronicles are, in fact, a 12-volume set. Okay, there's a whole lot that came around with the way that came out. But I will be taking part of that hard copy and getting it onto soft copy as quick as I can. Okay, and the one thing I've got to remember, one of the biggest challenges I've got right now is about a week and a half ago, I ended up throwing my back out. Okay, a lot of that was simply because I did one stupid thing. I was exercising regularly, and I quit about 3 months ago. Well, quit exercising, back seizures. Put two and two together. But here's the silly thing. Okay, if I'd have been paying attention, I know how to accelerate my own healing. This has been proven, this has been documented in the hospital. Pointed fact, when I snapped this arm, you can see the scar sort of right down here. Okay, I snapped it so bad that I had to have it bolted. You know, they plated the thing and put it back together. But I broke it at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning on March 3rd of 04. By 7 o'clock that night, they had it bolted back in place. But on March 12th of 04, 9 days later, I had healed the bone itself already to the point they couldn't cast it. Okay, so, and I don't know what happened to the brace they gave me, but you know, they bolted it back in place, but I had the bone repaired. But I did that with my body, with the assistance of the hospital. The assistance they gave me was they bolted the thing back together, and rest assured, much as I have issues around hospitals, as in PTSD, okay, I would rather have them deal with it than try and get somebody else, or myself for that matter, to hold it in place. Net result is it healed. But here's what I was talking about being stupid. When I threw my back out, instead of focusing my healing on with my own body, I did the stupid thing. I call it stupid because it never works for me. Okay, I know this doesn't work well. So I jacked myself up on painkillers for the last week and a half, until the day before yesterday. Until yesterday when it dawned on me. It's like, what, pray tell, am I doing? Jacking myself on painkillers. When all I've got to do is start focusing on the actual resetting of the muscles in my lower back. Well, wouldn't you know it? I start focusing on that. I haven't been on painkillers since. And I went through literally, and this is a bad thing, I went through way too many painkillers. Okay, in order to even take the edge off it. But is my back still tender? Yeah. But at least I'm able to move. So, the reality of it is this. When I talk about working together, you may not like what you've got to deal with. Like, when I have to deal with things, I keep telling people I'm mechanically inclined. Every time I'm inclined, I go to the mechanic. Okay. Speaking of which, I gotta go back there too. But the reality of it is this. You pick a couple of things that require doing. Now, I could get a whole pile on a list done here. I'm not going to, because like I said, do your best to keep it to 3. So because I know when the journey is finished, I've got to post it right away. Then I've got to sort the utility files. Then I've got to start taking the hard copy from the Yldrbacian Chronicles. Now, the third thing, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to make certain I get this done. This is a question of an email to my artist that's working on this series. Okay, now this neat little book, Races of the World. This is 59 in here. We have, I think, 59 races that I've personally dealt with. But I've got a phenomenal artist. At least I think he is. Okay. Got a phenomenal artist putting these pictures together now. This is just one of the races I deal with. Now, the neat part about it, this particular race in the Yldrbacian Chronicles, and this is where it got a little funny. Okay, the Yldrbacian Chronicles covers the building all the way from the building of the planet all the way to the rise of mankind and the fall of mankind. Now, this is one of the primary races that you'll have that they have to deal with. Okay. But, and that way I'm doing a second printing of the first volume of this particular book. Okay, that will include the pictures. Now, I've got about 3/4 of them done now. Okay. And then I'm working on volume 2. But the thing I was referring to about I've got to get to Chris is the next five races to be dealt with. Okay. Then I will figure out, once I've got these things, I'll end up with another item there. But you pick things, the way to figure out where you're starting is the easy part. Take a look where you are right now. Now, if you're driving, hands on the wheel. You can listen to this again and start when you get back to your office. Okay, that said, okay, but that's up to you, because the only person in existence that can actually be successful for you is you. So you take a look where you're sitting and go, okay, what am I not content with? Well, there's a number of things, not the least of which, in my eyes, on my desk right now, I've got a few things I don't really require. Frankly, they're in the way. Things like this, and this is why I said these are the Yldrbacian Chronicles. Obviously, these two are in print. Okay, but you'll notice when you look at the binding, they combine to make a picture, and that is the case all the way through all 12 books. These are the only two in print. The third one I'm in the middle of working. Okay. But they belong over here where they're not, where I don't have to worry about them getting damaged and what have you. But those are my copies. Okay. Or if you will, they're display copies. Now, the nice part about it is, as I get these done, I will keep people posted. Okay. But I've got things here that really have to come off my office desk. Which is what I'm doing. I don't sit still well, in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, well, I end up getting too many things on the go at the same time. Including such neat little things as rags that we were using for dusting. Receipts. Gotta be filed later today. But we'll put them over here onto this desk. Okay, maybe not. There we are. But what I've just done there, in very short order, obviously, because I don't have a lot of room on my desk to start with, but in very short order, my desk is now completely clear of stuff I don't require. Okay. This little picture, I haven't quite figured out what to do with it. But I'll figure that one out. This one. So it can sit there for the moment. It'll have to be moved eventually. But you take a look just like I did there. I went, okay, I've got these books and these things that have to be dealt with. How do I deal with them? Well, the first thing you do is put them on your list. Okay. Make sure that list is only is only that those tasks are only 15 minutes to half an hour in length. Now, one of the things I knew I had to get done, I didn't actually put it on the list because I knew I was sitting here while I was doing the journal. Okay. But I've got that out of the way. It's done. It's finished with. The tasks you put on your list may be that short. Okay. As a matter of fact, I recommend they're that short. And the reason for that is because as you get the task completed, you can turn around, check it off, add another one. By the end of the day, you may have a very long list, okay, of things that you've completed. The important factor is when you get to the end of the day and you're ready to pack it in for the night, okay, that you've still got 3 things on the list for first thing in the morning. Okay. And by doing that, you start your day off really quick. Now, I'm looking at this going, where do we go from here? And I think the best road is to really get organized and to pick a direct path. Now, I would love to hear your comments in the comments below. Okay, about things you would like, about topics you would like to look at. Now, the 3 major areas that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm looking at the home, and that is the feel of your primary work and primary living space. Bear in mind, all of these things are interconnected. So the one area that I'm focusing on is the feel of it and how to bring that feeling back to where it should be. So instead of it feeling like you're behind the 8 ball, like you're really depressed and getting nowhere in life, to feeling that you actually have the support of the people around you and a clear focus on where you're heading with your life. It doesn't matter at this point. How you got to where you are is not the relative factor. Okay. I had one client that told me, literally, she came to me and she goes, I'm 40 years old and my life has led nowhere. And there's no hope for me. I've just completely lost it. Well, it did take us a fair piece of time, but bear in mind, we were only working with her for half an hour, maybe an hour a week. Okay. And we are talking about a young lady that was clinically from a mental standpoint, the doctors had diagnosed her with a number of things and told her flat out she was hooked. Okay, what she was diagnosed with was multiple personality disorder. Okay, and kleptomania. Now, we also knew she had a volatile temper. Okay, now understand, when I say she was clinically diagnosed that way, when I first met this woman, she switched personalities and speech patterns and the whole 9 yards to 3 different people while I was talking to her. By the time I got finished talking to her and got finished working with her, now do understand, I simply gave her tools, ones that I personally utilize and that I personally know work. Okay, I simply gave her the tools. She's the one that actually got up and did the work. But by the time we got done a year later, after being somebody that literally she'd bump into anybody and she would lift whatever she could get out of their pocket. Okay. And she called me up the last time I talked to her. The reason she called was because a guy had left her wallet on the seat at the bus, at the bus stop. And that would have normally been a case of her just pocket it and carry on. Right, but what she did was she chased the bus for 2 blocks until she caught up with the guy, gave him back his wallet. When he opened it, he found the $20 bill in it still there, and all of his credit cards and everything else. This is from somebody that was habitually stealing whatever she could get. Okay, but she was so proud of herself, she caught up to this guy, and gave him back his wallet. Well, he opened it up, saw the 20 was still there, and handed it to her anyway. Right, he looks at her and he goes, if I had more cash, I'd give that to you. And she says, I could not be happier. Right, she was so proud of herself, she came home and gave me a call. Turned out, the other thing she filled me in on was she was no longer living on the street. She got into subsidized housing. She got into a couple of programs to help her cope. She was moving forward. Now, that just goes to show, even if you're in an absolute disaster, there is no question there is a way to get you back on your feet. Okay, now I'm not perfect. Okay, I've been reclusive for over a decade. I'm doing my best in spite of COVID. Okay, and the disasters that are going on in the political arena. I'm doing my best to get out into public a little bit more. Now, this is something I have to do in order to do what I came to do, i.e., pass this message on to everyone in existence that working together we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. And that, honestly, is where you come in. Okay, absolutely. If you like the video, if you like the concept, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. Okay. Do subscribe to the channel. And then spread the message to everyone you know. And I mean everyone. I mean people, off-worlders, ancient races, animals, plants, energy patterns. All of it is connected. I know it sounds weird to some of you. I really do. I mean, heck, to me it sounds weird. I actually asked a number of different psychiatrists, psychologists, and students of psychology about the way I was looking at the world. You know, how do you know you're not losing your mind? And the unanimous answer to everyone I've talked to has been, you're not if you're asking if you're losing your mind, you're not. It's just that simple. Okay, so with that in mind, now I'm coming down to the end of the run here. Okay, but absolutely, any of the booklets, you can see the list of books below my videos. Okay, any one of them can be bought through me, through PayPal, utilizing PayPal or direct or email transfer. Now, of course, I'm in Canada, so in Canada, email transfer works like a charm. Okay, but PayPal works the rest of the place. Oh, if I recall correctly, I just shipped a couple of books down to Australia. So, yes, we are actually getting out there. Okay, that's just the reality behind it. If you've got a project that you have put on hold for whatever reason, maybe you were told you weren't good enough. Maybe you were told that it would never sell. You can't make money in that industry. Now, I will agree. For me to make money in the music industry, to try singing, well, in a nutshell, I'd have people paying me not to sing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But you likely are better than I am at that. But if you've got a goal, doesn't matter what it is, start looking at it. Start working on it. If you don't know how to start, drop me a line. I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Regardless of the scam, regardless of the goal. Okay, regardless of the topic. Drop me a line. As long as what we're talking about is something legal, I'm all there. I'm quite willing to give you an idea of how to get around it. Okay, but you gotta stay inside the laws of the land in which you are. And the only 3 laws I follow are the 3 karmic laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay, you follow those 3 karmic laws. And frankly, if you look at all the ones you follow, I do believe that what you'll find if you compare them is that all the laws you follow fit inside the 3 I follow. Now, the advantage in my eyes is I only have to remember 3. Now, I will be back again tomorrow. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.